For 70 years, NATO's strategic dominance shaped the global balance of power. It was an intricate system of military alliances, intelligence networks, and diplomatic influence, carefully crafted over decades to ensure its superiority on the world stage. No one questioned its strength, its resilience, or its ability to maintain order in an ever-changing world. But everything changed with one decisive move. Your move. In an instant, you shattered the foundation that NATO had built, rendering its decades of planning and power meaningless. What was once considered NATO's secret weapon has now been exposed as obsolete, a relic of a bygone era. The strategies that sustained it for so long are now irrelevant, and the balance of power has shifted in a way that no one could have predicted. History is being rewritten, and you are the one who will be remembered for turning the page. Before we dive deeper into this unprecedented shift, take a moment to pause and hit that like button, subscribe to help us reach 1,000 subscribers, and leave a message for them in comments. This small action will send a powerful signal, amplifying the energy of what's unfolding right before your eyes. What was once unshakable is now in ruins, and the world will never be the same. For 7 long decades, NATO held a commanding grip on global affairs, becoming the undeniable symbol of military strength and strategic unity. The alliance's power wasn't merely a result of numbers. It was the intricate web of alliances, military superiority, and covert intelligence operations that ensured its place at the top. Every move, every strategy was meticulously planned, and the world watched in awe as NATO maintained a rock-solid defense against any potential threat. Nations trusted it, feared it, and above all, respected it. The history of NATO was written in ink, and for a long time, it seemed that nothing could erase its legacy of invincibility. But all that power, all that influence, was built on a foundation of assumptions that no one ever thought would be challenged. NATO's strategic brilliance, while revolutionary at its inception, began to show signs of wear. The global order had changed, but NATO's playbook had stayed largely the same. Technological advancements, shifting alliances, and rising new powers posed challenges that the old guard wasn't equipped to handle. Still, NATO remained the epitome of defense, its military machine constantly fine-tuned to perfection, its strategy seemingly flawless. To question NATO was unthinkable until one person, one strategic disruption, would change the course of history. The world may have believed that NATO's dominance was eternal, an unmovable force that would shape the planet for generations to come. Yet history has a way of proving even the most dominant forces fallible. What began as a fortress of certainty and control soon turned into a powder keg waiting to explode. The challenge wasn't just external, but internal. NATO's complacency and its inability to adapt swiftly to the rapidly changing geopolitical landscape set the stage for an unimaginable collapse. It wasn't just a shift in power. It was a complete overturn of everything NATO had ever stood for. You didn't just challenge NATO, you broke its foundation. In an instant, the delicate balance it had carefully constructed for decades crumbled. The years of carefully orchestrated military superiority, the strategic partnerships, and the unwavering belief in NATO's invincibility vanished in the blink of an eye. It wasn't a slow fade or a drawn-out process. It was a single, calculated action that ripped through the heart of NATO's dominance, revealing the cracks that had always been there but were hidden beneath layers of strategy and secrecy. The truth was undeniable. NATO's dominance was no longer unquestionable. The once proud institution that had shielded the West from countless threats now found itself exposed. It was as if a mirror had been held up.
Your action didn't just alter the history, they erased an even decade-long narrative of the vulnerabilities. NATO have always been the backbone of the Western power, the ultimate safeguard against any forces and so to upset the global order for the generation. It was the go-to guarantor of securities. The island and the world behind which nations saw to the refugee. Its military capabilities, coupled with its intelligence infrastructures, create powerful deterrent, and any adversary alliance seems to be untouchable. Operation with the confidence with the heavyweight champion had never lost match in the eye of the world. NATO was the synonymous and was the strength, unity, stabilities. But behind the scene, crack had started to appear in the seemingly impenetrable and structures political tension. Time is change. For example, World War I, World War II. We don't need any World War III at all. But some of the corrupt politicians try to create World War III, for benefit for that. So we have to stop them. So NATO is no more like before. Complex international landscape made harder for the NATO. You know what? If those of leadership, incompetence, so the NATO, how they can follow the universal standard. Yeah. So it's harder for the NATO to maintain level of the cohesions. And the matter is formidable, and the geopolitical landscape. Yeah, they try to United Nations 2030. The geopolitical landscape was shifting, and the NATO response was often reactive rather than provocative. So the years went on. NATO once unified from the beginning to how sign of the fragmentations is very foundation of its global power, with eroding slowly and almost imperceptibilities at first, but unmistakable. Everything changed. One decisive move shattered what had once been considered. NATO's unshakable backbone is an instant The world witnessed in the collapse of the empire, and had been the nearly century period. It was no longer a matter of internal disagreement or external prejudice. It was sudden, catastrophic shift left the NATO reeling, and the power of the NATO once guided was now a mere shadow of itself, unable to respond with the same forces had relied upon so long. So the balance of the global power had the title NATO influence had crumbled. This wasn't just a blow to the NATO, it was a wake-up call to the entire world. For those who had relied on the NATO as ultimate guarantor securities, realization was jarring, and the institution had been the cornerstone. The Western defense was now released as vulnerable, and what had once been seamless network power, strategies, intelligence was now scattered and fragmented. The collective confidence in the NATO ability to safeguard global peace was shattered, replaced by the uncertainty and doubt. It wasn't just a matter of the military might anymore. NATO's strength had always been its alliance, its united. But united has fractures with the very core of the NATO power. The world was left grapple with the aftermath of this collapse, trying to comprehend. So what came next? The certainty of the past had vanished, replaced a new reality with what the NATO placed. A global order was no longer guaranteed. NATO military super priorities was often seen as the ultimate trump card for decades. The alliance arsenal and the sophisticated weaponry, advanced technology, highly trained forces keep adversary at bay. From the Cold War, modern conflict, NATO military dominance has been defining the future of the global influence. The sheer scale and its resources made it unrivaled forces and the world stage. A true military juggernaut, and yet all other military might was brought to its knees by the single masterfully executed move. This wasn't just a military defeat. It's the convention sense it was unraveled. NATO's most patent weapon is reputation for the invincibilities. One action exposed fragility beneath the surface, reveal how outdated strategies, entrenches bureaucracy, and the reliance conventional warfare tactics had left NATO prepared for the new era conflict. What was once apparent and military supremacy now seems to obsolete in the face of the adversary and understood the power of the disruption. This moment, reckon didn't happen is the battlefield, but its might. Those who had placed their faith in the NATO, and the world watched the NATO at once. Unquestionable superiorities was apparent. wasn't a matter of strength, besides strength. It was about the strategies innovation could outpass. You demonstrate the war had changed. The old methods no longer applied. NATO had been living in the past, and the past came to crash down instant. For the years, NATO had been able to detect the turn of the global defense and control once so carefully guarded, ever ported with a single unexpected strike. So it wasn't the, one thing is so many old politicians, like Kissinger's, old Carter, you see, old Bush, yeah, they're already gone long time ago. Reagan, yeah. So all the world is no existent, those are leadership. So the big environment, those global landscape is different. And those are new politicians is more corrupt. The problem, you see. The global, those politicians. It wasn't just a victory of the traditional sense. It was the death of ally. NATO military superiorities has been reduced, nothing more than a symbol of the past. Bygone age, when power was defined by the sheer of the force rather than adaptabilities, innovation, and agility. See, even the lawyer of the Japan, the old kids, emperor. So they come the new generation, even the Japanese lawyer, yeah. They come a new generation now, those are lawyers, see. So these strategies, even the United Kingdom, will come up the new generation, the lawyer family. So this strategy move wasn't just about the breaking the NATO military mind. It was about showing the world there were the new rules and the game. The older way of the conflict, rooted in the belief the military power alone could guarantee success, were no longer sufficient. The shift in the global power had already begun in NATO. So once supreme power, the military strategist was left behind for years. NATO's secret weapon was its ability to strike fear into the hearts of the adversary with the vast network, intelligent operations, and this shadow web of surveillance, espionage of the convert to the mission was as much as part of NATO power as the military capabilities. It wasn't just about having the strongest army, it was about knowing everything, being everywhere, and ensuring was no surprise could ever threaten the alliance securities. NATO intelligence apparatus was the envy of the world, and for a good reason kept the NATO one step ahead, always prepare for the next move. So it seemed but you exposed something that the NATO secret weapon had overlooked, the power of the unpredictability. One thing is also those of, Elon Musk, those of theft, stolen the NASA satellite, you see. Those of, they try to dominate the world, you see. They try to play the God. And he tried to emigrate 1 million people on the earth to the Mars. I think his bullshit, his bullshit, his expect space were fair because while he's phony and he created those million satellites. Garbages were burning creative created loads of, air pollution. Terrible. He's a terrible person. And he have contract, in the U.S. government, defense, everything. The Palantir, Peter Depp was a Palantir, see, Alex. So those of easily lobby. The problem is here. Those are easily lobby. So why NATO intelligence network was vast? It was ultimately constrained by the reliance traditional method. So all the global landscape, because those are Israel lobbies. Up before is Kissinger's, it's a Reagan, it's a because I met was Carter. Carter was the coast one China policy, sacrifice Taiwanese. It's so wrong, against humanity. It's war. And Obama hand over those satellites to the Elon Musk, those PayPal mafia. You see. And he still go from Libya. So everything is messed up. They screw up. Those politicians screw up everything. But those old politicians already gone, you see. Many people died. Those, you see those old senators. Yeah, he just went to the meet Ukraine leader Zelensky. Then next day, I don't have no idea. Next day he come back, and he was passed away. It's so strange for me, you see. And he's the Republican Party majority. Those senators, those sold the weapon, drum, you see, to create a war. The same. So here in the process information, the rapid change of the war. So season change, people change. The new generation will come. So warfare, cyber attack become as important, especially after 1994. Promote internet worldwide. See, and those politicians, those world government is died. A reason, you see, and no leadership. The reason. So the NATO old school, and they try to those are trauma that may try to against the Constitution. So no Constitution. See. So NATO old school intelligence strategy or increasing effective your action revealed new kind of warfare. Your actions revealed a new kind of warfare. And NATO intelligence service were not prepared for that. So face of such disruption, NATO once powerful network, espionage of the convert to operation crumbled. So the age of secret hidden power is replaced by the age of the transparency, openness, and where the old true power were no longer enough. You show that the intelligence was no longer about the secrecy. It is about the speed, innovation, and the abilities. And NATO reliance are outdated strategies, render the once invincible intelligence system. So the implications were profound, and NATO had NATO had to rely on the ability to gather information every corner of the globe, and that information was no longer enough to stay ahead of the curve. So the age of cyber warfare, instantness and communication and unpredictable move had arrived at the very mechanisms once gave the NATO age. So it wasn't just about the game. Do you know what? So those Elon Musk space his IPO, those are Starlink, those are NVIDIA, those are Intel, those are chip, those are, you see, those are Broadcom. It's all about control. All about who control the military software. You see, there's a Palantir, those are Anthropic. You see, those are. So that's why we have to stop those Israel lobby continual expansion, those military contract. We have to block all of them. Elon Musk, Jason Wang, bullshit, you see. So it was about being able to respond in real time, move faster than enemy, and even Samsung. Okay. So Samsung and NVIDIA is cooperate, is partnership together for the monopoly chip industry. The reason. So ASML is have to be very careful for that. So NATO secret weapon is intelligent network had been overtaken by the very forces fear, anticipate. You demonstrate the critical flaw in the NATO intelligent infrastructures. It was built for a different era and a different kind of the warfare. So now it's new world, and where is the line between the cyber and the physical? The new world, we cannot allow those Trump organization, those corruption, those Elon Musk. We need to block all of them, impeachment, those of, unfit senator, those violate Constitution, so on. Those Supreme Court judge take out their life salary, okay, because they are disqualified. So, well, some are disqualified. Yeah, I'm not talking about everyone judge. Now have like above 30,000 of the lawyer against Trump. It's corruption. So Trump is to expose those corrupt system. Yeah. But we cannot continue let him do this continue those corruption. His inside trading, his take a bribe. See, by those big tech, those Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Metaverse, Mark Zuckerberg, see. And especially the list of Epstein file. Those are disqualifying control our government. Our government, yeah. Even those are, you see, First Lady is the Russia prostitution girl. And Harry wife is prostitution. So our world cannot allow this kind, you see, Harry Prince Harry. He should find her at least regular, and he married to those of Epstein file. Yeah. And his wife is prostitution. How shame with this kind of, yeah. So this is secret weapon. So we need to vote out those, Harry Prince, those wife, those prostitution. And the Trump wife, First Lady, is Russia girl prostitution. Around the world, we have to vote out. We have to, they are disqualified. Those lawyers, see, terrible. Oh my God. And the secret weapon had once stuck into the hearts of the adversary, was now symbol of the landscape. You see, especially Dubai, UAE, and Saudi, they need took out those imposter, those fake king and prince. It's a shame, you see. They scam, all the people online. Put a lawyer member car or marriage. Terrible. See. So your action reveal how the world is changed. Yeah, our words now, those are internet, because Obama sold out those online criminal. They sold out our data. You see, UK research. Mark Zuckerberg sold out the data to the criminal. You see, terrible. Despite that, so that's why we need to take back our internet. Microsoft, those are phony metaverse, those are Instagram. See, we need to take back, and those are Snapchat also have so much imposter. So also online. So UK and the European were forbidden those kids, no more use online, those very sick system, you see, software, those, especially those pedophile Microsoft. Oh, terrible. Our world is controlled by those pedophile. Give me a break. If UK lawyer from King Charlie, he should know Prince Harris is married to the black woman's prostitution. It's shame. So that's why Queen in England broke their all the title, the reason. They are disqualified the royal family. Royal family blood was make dirt already, you see, against any challenge. And those online imposter, pretend imposter, the king, queen of the world. So terrible. We have to stop this kind. Especially Mark Zuckerberg, you see. They sold out the data, everyone's data. So we need to take back all the data center. It's not belong to individual, not belong to those GPU, CPU, not belong to the Jason Wang, NVIDIA. NVIDIA stolen and manipulate stock price with collusion of the politician. That's wrong. I will talk about that's wrong. That's wrong. Now it's come to kill the people. The United Nations. I don't know that those are United Nations chairman is so weak. IMF is so weak. Allow this kind of thing happen. The bank should not allow those of drum company creative weapon to kill the people, and later they will use the lobo to kill the people, to kill each other. Okay, terrible. And those artificial intelligence is fake, because why? Behind is also monopoly. Those Jason Wang, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and there was Amazon, those Jeff Bezos, those bullshit, you see. So our world is controlled by those bullshit online, because why? Pentagon sold out to the Israel lobby already. How many presidents? Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and then Obama. You see, Obama is totally sold out those are internet, because he's funding the Elon Musk satellite. You see, he had brought his hand. It's shame. You see, the country had to place the trust NATO security umbrella was now forced to the kitchens, everything they had to believe, their own safety. So allies began to look inward, wondering if their reliance on the NATO had been a strategic mistake, and very concept, collective defense, had once cornerstone international security debate, the world was no longer certain NATO could guarantee protection. Uncertainty created dangerous bargain, and this global shockwave wasn't limited to the military power. The economic, especially now, you see those Trump launched those, Venezuela, Iran, Cuba war, see. And they show the surface how fragile those, American army, because they manipulate by the Israeli lobby, you see. Because Israel, Netanyahu started war, and his and the collusion is Trump, because they want to make a profit for this. Stolen the oil, manipulate the stock price. So even the New York Stock Exchange is died, SEC is died, Federal Reserve Bank is died, DOJ is died. No more, the government is collapsed. No government in this world now. So the economic ramification was just a severe, and the NATO decline didn't just alter the defense landscape. You know what? That's the reason NATO scrambled, because Trump is, and also Israel lobby, so on. So NATO strategy's dominance had long provided stability international market. You see, that's why Trump launched the war to Iran to kill the Khomeini, and result backfire becomes Iran attack to the American military bases in the Bahrain, in the Jordan, in the Saudi, those are, oil refineries. See how terrible those backfire. See, and Trump have no brain. Trump have no brain. He's stupid man. He's idiot. See, he don't know nothing. He just want money. You see, those are people behind it. Those are, behind him, those are Elon Musk. It's theft. Peter theft. It's theft. They all corrupt together. They stole it online. They just know how to steal the online website, your account. You see, they hack to the banking system and use this, use those blockchain fake money, those fake cryptocurrency to buy the real oil. Yeah, that's why Putin reject. One time they were used about 47 trillion put by the Putin oil. Putin will not believe that. So evaluate long-term strategies. The global, and they try to use XRP to replace the SWIFT. That's under the John Kennedy plan. It's QQ. It's bullshit, those are, And the Trump family war of financial liberty is corrupt. They make profit for the million people, investors. Benefit for his family, so his Trump family. So his Albania, you see, they stolen the land from the Albania, collusion with the Albania, those corruption politicians, you see. And they try to, Trump organization, they try to stolen also the fish, Pacific Ocean, the fish, and become the terrible. Those are forbidden fish area. They try to change the landscape, but it's not allowed influence our environment. See? Especially Elon Musk, mini satellite, where they were burning, and the burning will create aluminum dioxide, and those are lithium, those are burning is toxic air, atmosphere. So it's not going to work. So NATO had, and the fiber optic is much faster than satellite. Okay, so why we don't use the fiber optics? We don't need to use his Starlink at all. It's phony. So he not an invention everything. He just used the fake money, try to buy the oil, gold, try to stolen everything. Okay, Elon Musk, terrible. He already stolen my homepage. Okay, my banking homepage. Shame on you, Elon Musk. How dirty businessman. So NATO represent. I will not negotiate with him. I don't need a validation of it. It's terrible. So expect collective strength and how our world he take out all the Starlink. We don't need his satellite. He go himself to the Mars. Okay. So serve as cautionary tale about the fragility of the institutions. Believe invincible the world watch NATO invincibilities turn into the irrelevance, and was that calm realization the era question power was over. Landscape, global security had been the irreparable. Now nation everywhere must grapple with aftermath of the NATO failure. So the alliance once forming backbone Western power fractured, and the questions remain: who will fill the void of left by the NATO? So on. So what does new world order look like? Yeah, that's most important thing. In the time when even the mightiest can fall. So what you did wasn't just the act of the disruption. Its revelations, NATO, its institution had been seen as cornerstone of the global security, had long been immune to the question, and the sheer weight of the legacy and its formidable military presence gave the illusion of the invulnerabilities, but with one calculated move, you expose the fatal flaw had been the looking. So now it's time to reform a NATO. The world is changed. The NATO bureaucracy's interests, reliance on convention tactics. So it wasn't a slow erosion's influence over decades. It was a collapse of the occurred almost overnight, leaving the world in shock. For years, NATO was prided itself on its military supremacy, intelligence capability, strategic alliance. But when we see the new global reality, okay, so NATO value is recognized, the simple truth, seal the fact, and with your actions become the catalyze the largest transformation, and survival the force change without adapting. That moment would realize no institution, no matter how powerful. In the end, era where brute strength was the measure of the power, depends on the outdated model. Its lack of the foresight, it was turning point, one that marked beginning. System beyond the reproach, but you shattered that illusion. You exposed NATO inability to evolve itself. For decades, NATO has been the anti-disrupt power with its strategies. The political military elite was had to long believed in the NATO invulnerability, found themselves scrambled for the reason. And NATO strategy, you highlight unsustainable